So at this point, allow me to introduce the next speaker who is going to take us through this particular session, and then thereafter we are going to have the kind of a discussion. EUNICE NJUGUNA will be our next speaker. She is the manager, Legal Services Kenya Industrial Property Institute, and she is a member of the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries. Having over 20 years extensive experience in the intellectual property field, she has played a pivotal role in the formulation of various laws on industrial property rights in Kenya, as well as the intellectual property policies of institutions of higher learning and research institutions. Her experience ranges from administration of industrial property rights to dispute resolution in accordance with the provisions of the Trademarks Act. She has liaised with industries, intellectual property enforcement agencies, and other stakeholders in promoting respect for industrial property rights in Kenya. She advises the Institute on governance, legal, regulatory, and compliance matters. She was the legal consultant for the World Intellectual Property Organization funded intellectual property audit, University of Nairobi, undertaken in 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Madam EUNICE NJUGUNA as she comes to make her presentation. You know, there is a saying that she comes over, there is a saying that goes that when someone steals from one source, you accuse that person of plagiarism. But when that person steals from so many areas, you praise that person of research. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give her a chance. She has a lot of experience in intellectual property. Well,
good afternoon, everyone. My name is EUNICE NJUGUNA, as you can see there. And today we are going to talk about the legislative framework with respect to industrial property. Shortly, I'll tell you what intellectual property is. In KIPI, we do industrial property, and there are other institutions that do intellectual property or other branches of intellectual property. So we are going to see what that is, but for now, it's about industrial property. But this is the way the presentation will be. We'll have the introduction, we'll have the trademarks, industrial designs, utility models, patents, and then I'll tell you about the project that we are undertaking or we intend to undertake as KIPI. And we are just across here. We are neighbors to Boma. So if you have an issue with us or you want to be our client, please walk across here after you're done with this program. First, it's an introduction to intellectual property, and it's part of our everyday life. When you wake up, first thing you do, you brush your teeth, you use Colgate or you use Close-Up. That's industrial property. That's a trademark that you use. And once you create an idea and you have it expressed, either as a book, most of the presenters here have books, that becomes intellectual property. And it incorporates industrial property. That's what we do, KIPI, we do. We have copyright, and then we have plant breeders' rights. Copyright is administered by Kenya Copyright Board. They are at NHIF building. And copyright is about books, all these books that we are talking about, computer programs. That's copyright. Then Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, it's a body corporate under government, under the Ministry of Agriculture. They do plant breeders' rights. Most of the flowers that we have here are the flowers that we export, the roses that we export, we are very good in. Those are under plant varieties protection. Then we have KIPI, that's where I work. We administer trademarks, industrial designs, we have patents and utility models, all referred to as industrial property. And first we start with trademarks. They assist the owners. All of us here are entrepreneurs. So if you are in a business, and let's say you are selling water, there's a reason why I would pick Dasani and leave Keringet and vice versa. That's how trademarks will help you to identify your business in the marketplace. We have a trademark that was registered in 1913 and it's still in force. So you pay renewal fee after every 10 years. So you retain it on our register after forever, indefinitely, as long as you want it. And it's not compulsory to register your trademark, but we are not going to follow you up like KEBS, or we are not going to follow you up like KRA. But the advantage is that you will be able to stop someone else from infringing on your trademark. And the other thing is that if you don't register and you are using somebody else's trademark, it's very expensive. One company was found to be infringing on Santa Lucia, and they had to pay damages worth 10 million. So it's important that you come to our place and find out, is the trademark that I'm using registered by another person? Otherwise it would be very expensive. There are 3 types of trademarks, and I'm not sure about this one. I don't know whether it's registered, this organization. I'm not sure about this one, Expodium Africa. I'm not sure whether it's registered. That would be a service mark. The Boma Nairobi is registered. This is where we are at. Melvin's Tea is registered. And I brought it here because I was thinking the owner would be a presenter here. I'm not sure whether she's a presenter. But we celebrated her early in the year. That's why I put her name, her trademark there. This is registered for teas. We register in classes, so these are services, and that is for tea. And an ordinary trademark may be treated like any other property as recognized in the Constitution. We are really proud of the current Constitution because it incorporates intellectual property. If you look at Article 260, it includes property. It defines property to include intellectual property. So you can, if it's an ordinary trademark like Melvin's, for example, you can sell, you can license, you can franchise, like the other speaker was talking about. And maybe we are aware of this Susie Beauty. Are we aware of this? It's owned by a lady. That's why I brought it in here. And it was acquired by Flame Tree Group in 2061 for millions of Kenya shillings. This one here, Nice and Lovely, we all know Nice and Lovely. It was sold in 2013 at billions of Kenya shillings. So, and the owner of this, maybe we know, Interconsumer Products, they just started with something like 3,000 bob. And after some time, it was worth billions of Kenya shillings. The other kind of trademarks that we do are certification trademarks. These can only be registered by all these can be registered by a legal person. A legal person is a company or a business name or an association, or it can be registered by an individual, a natural person like you and I. These certification trademarks can only be registered by a body like KEBS, because their work is to certify that the standard that you're using, if you look at the bottle of water that you're having, it has this mark here, and it's compulsory to have it these days. Then if your goods are very high standards, then you get this diamond mark of quality. Then these days, it's compulsory to have this one, unga. You must fortify your foods, your unga. So you must have this one, that's owned by KEBS. All these are owned by KEBS. And then this one is for import. Then we have another type of trademarks. The previous speaker talked about associations. This can only be registered by an association, and this is what we are talking about currently as KIPI. We are encouraging people to be in associations because there is safety in numbers. And once you register such a trademark, you must be an association. You must be a group in a group. You cannot sell this trademark like the way we saw Susie sold her trademark. You cannot license. The only person who can use that trademark, a collective trademark, is the one who complies with the rules. When you come to register a collective trademark at KIPI, you must tell us the rules. You must have put down the rules that I must comply with. Will I be paying money? Will I be doing something else that I need to do to be able to belong to that association or group? And I'll give you examples. Tighter baskets. In 2017, we collaborated with the World Intellectual Property Organization to assist the tighter basket weavers to develop and register a trademark with respect to the tighter basket. And maybe we all know the kiondo. It's made in the Taita County at the coast. And you can only make that kiondo using sisal that is grown in the Taita Taveta County and other neighboring counties. So it means that if you are in Muranga, you can't belong to that association. Or if you are using sisal that is grown in Muranga, you can't belong to that association. And you can see that happy lady, she's holding some very beautiful baskets, and that is the trademark that we assist them to register. And on that this label here, there's a story, there's a promise that they have said. It's here, but you can't read it, so I put it down here. And the Taita baskets are sisal baskets made by women in Taita Taveta County. The knowledge of basket making has been passed down through generations. Each basket is laboriously made in a traditional way unique to that region. This basket was hand-woven by this is in italics because this is the promise that they are making, that the specific hand-mover is making. This basket was hand-woven by this basket weaver in compliance with the quality standards. Remember I said you must bring us the standards, the rules that I will follow if I am to be a member, established by the Taita Basket Association. Then you say the group. This association is made up of many groups in Taita, all women. Although you are told now men are also joining, they can see it's something nice, so they are also joining. So you say your group, and you say your name, then you say the grade. Then this is for purposes of traceability. If we are exporting as a group and something is wrong with your basket, then we shall return it to you, and then maybe you can make amends and develop it better. And then the grade, it could be decorative or practical, like what this lady is holding could be for decoration. You could use it for carrying your products or your shopping. And this came right after or during the period that NEMA banned plastic bags. Then we're having another, this one we haven't developed, we are going to develop during this financial year. It's the Kipindi peanut butter. And it's being made by an association called Thiwa Peanut Processors Investment Association. They are based in Thiwa constituency, Homa Bay County. And they produce, you can only produce the peanut butter if you're growing this type of varieties. And there you can see the association has 37 members, 21 of whom are ladies. And when we were speaking to the association officials, they said it's easier to deal with ladies. There are no politics. They're organized. Actually, their treasurer is a lady, and we are really proud of them. We are going to help them to develop their trademark. Then we have the Kissy soapstone. I'm sure we have heard of the Kissy soapstone. And usually it's the men who go to the quarries. But these days, ladies are being encouraged to go to the quarries, and they get involved from the removing of the stones to the cleaning and to marketing. So currently, the stones are used for floor tiles, they're just for decoration, for handcrafts. But we did a study together with WIPO, and they are being encouraged to do tiles, floor tiles, things. You see the way the construction industry is doing well in Kenya, so this will be a good source of income for all the members. And another thing that they said that the artists and the mining communities should make use of intellectual property, and that's what we are going to do. We want or they're already in associations, so we want to assist them to bring, to register a collective trademark where they can all use and come together and cut off the middlemen. And they say they're being really hurt by the middlemen. The other thing that is trademarks. The other thing that we do is called industrial designs. And industrial design is about the shape or the configuration of an article. Like these bottles, they have a unique design, and when you look at vehicles, most of them are coming up with very unique designs or very sleek ones. That is what we register. It adds the commercial value of a product and increases its marketability. And it's registered for 15 years. So you see the beautiful basket there. That's registered as an industrial design. This is for children. It attracts the children. This is for perfume. So an industrial design is just the appearance of the article. That is the intellectual property that we register. Then the patent. The earlier speakers talked about baby monitors. When that person came up with a baby monitor, they solved a technical problem. So they were given a patent. But in the next 20, from the date you bring in the application, within the next 20 years, it will be in the public domain. Meaning that a patent is a contract. You're given a contract between you and the government. You are given exclusive use to your technology. Then in the next 20 years, it will be in the public domain. Anyone can use it without infringing. And one of the ladies that we celebrated early this year on 20th, every 20th, 26th of April every year, we celebrate World Intellectual Property Day. So this year we celebrated this lady, Dr. Christine Wangia of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, who has invented and got a patent for a drug for management of arthritis, inflammation, and pain. So she's using extracts from a plant with that hard name, that one, and we celebrated her, like I said, and the theme was powering change, women in innovation and creativity, and it looks like it's similar to what we are doing now. The day celebrated the brilliance, ingenuity, curiosity, and courage of the women who are driving change in our world and shaping our common future. Something else that we do is a utility model. And it gives a solution to a technical problem also, but you don't have to have an inventive step. And when we were celebrating Dr. Wangia, we also celebrated these two girls from Thika Girls Karibaribi Secondary School, and they were able to get a utility model for an eco-friendly seedling bag. We are aware that NEMA prohibited use of plastic bags, and I'm told they were told to continue. The people who are doing seedlings, they were told to nursery seedlings. They were told to continue up to December. So the other day I saw someone on TV saying, we don't know what to do from December. But these girls have come up with an eco-friendly seedling bag. They are using sisal and banana stems to make seedling bags that are biodegradable. So when you transplant from the nursery, you don't have to remove the container. You just sink it in the soil, and it will be biodegradable. So that is what we do as intellectual property, trademarks, industrial designs, utility models, and patents. And I'm going to tell you something small about, to finish, I'm going to tell you something small about the projects that we are undertaking. As part of the, we are under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Cooperatives, and together with JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, there is something called One Village, One Product movement, and it's under that movement that we were able to create that trademark, Taita Basket Collective Trademark, that was registered some times back. And when we were talking to the ministry and to JICA, we were told that a village need not be just a small village in your county where you were born. It can be a county, a whole county. It can be many counties, like almost all the counties are in economic blocks. That can be a village. And when we go out into or throughout the country, we can see like the Kipingi peanut butter. It looks like it can be replicated in many villages in Western Kenya. So that would be a good thing to do under this movement. Then we have another one that's called Improving Competitiveness of SMEs in Kenya through effective use of IP system. We've been to many regions in the country, although we haven't come to Nairobi, so maybe you haven't been trained, but we are coming to Nairobi. And what we do is we use county enterprise development officers and county industrial development officers. So maybe you'll be identified as part of the people who will be trained in intellectual property in the course of this financial year. And it's during those forums that we identify persons like Kipingi Peanut Butter Association, and then we create programs for improved productivity, value addition, and competitiveness by providing IP information. We mentor them until they get a trademark, and we see them happy and smiling as they market their products. The other thing that we do, we are a Big Four agenda enabler. Like I said, once you bring in a patent, an invention for purposes of patent protection, in 20 years it will be in the public domain. And we encourage people not to reinvent the wheel. Come to Kipi. If you're in manufacturing, whatever type, we have all that information. So come to Kipi or go to our website here, and we have published various patents that may be exploited free of charge and without infringing on the patents because they're already in the public domain. Then we also do promotion of local innovations. We have realized that there is not much innovation going on in Kenya, or if it's there, it's very hard to commercialize because of lack of funds, or because of facilities, and that Dr. Wagia noted that lack of sufficient funds really delayed completion of our research. So we are planning to put together people who can fund research, people who can fund commercialization of industrial property so that we can progress. And that's the end, Chairman.